Alright guys, it is Tuesday, April 5th, 2022 at 11:47 p.m. Let's take a look quickly here at dailyverses.net. Verse of the day, it says, "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. Mark 10:52. Alright guys, so we had a bit of an outbreak in the south today. This is from WTOC Jamie Ertl. It says Bryan County tornado seen crossing I-16. Video from Gage Moore Clinton. And you see there the tornado crossing the road and people driving. You see the tornado here and people driving as the tornado approaches. Pretty spooky. So a lot of tornadoes passed in the south today. People's properties damaged. A lot happened in the south. Georgia happened, South Carolina. Alright. Here's another video from Carolyn Mary. It says no, because that tornado that hit Illabel and Pembroke was no joke today. So a lot of tornado action. There's plenty of tornado footage out there. This is from Colin Gross. This is the complex of storms that caused a tornado outbreak across the deep south today has finally moved off the southeast coast. Many tornado warnings issued today, a bunch of these having confirmed tornadoes within them. Let's take a look at the states that had the tornadoes in them, or the tornado warnings. We have Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, parts of Florida, and South Carolina. So a lot of areas damaged today with possible tornadoes. Alright, so I had warned beforehand of the tornadoes, but look at the hail. Chris Alred, baseball-sized hail today in Bryan County. Photo, Katina Heron Godomsky. That is pretty large. Let's take a look at the image so you can have a better look at how large that hail is. Look at that. Pretty huge. Not gigantic, but pretty huge. Alright guys. So, storms happened today, but also UFO stuff happened today. It says Pentagon says the UFO have left people with radiation burns, brain damage, and time suspension. The Pentagon says that UFOs have left people with radiation burns, brain damage. The study classifies different types of encounters, including ones accompanied by ghosts, yetis, or spirits, and others that result in injury. As we all know, UFOs have been a topic for the past couple of years, especially with the government trying to declassify a lot of footage that happened. But as I see it as demonic stuff. I don't see it as real UFOs and aliens. I see it as things that we should not be messing with. But let's take a look at this. It says UFOs left radiation burns and accounted for pregnancies. New Pentagon report claims 1,500 pages of UFO-related research were just declassified as part of FOIA request. Says encounters with UFOs have reportedly left Americans suffering from radiation burns, brain and nervous system damage, and even unaccounted for pregnancy, according to a massive database of U.S. government reports recently made public through a Freedom of Information Act request. The database of documents includes more than 1,500 pages of UFO-related material from the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, a secretive U.S. Department of Defense program that ran from 2007 to 2012. Despite never being classified as secret or top secret, the ATIP only became known to the public in 2017 when former program director Luis Elizondo resigned from the Pentagon and released several now infamous videos of an unidentified craft moving in seemingly impossible ways to the media. Shortly after ATIP's existence was revealed, the U.S. outpost on the British tabloid The Sun filed a FOIA request for any and all documents related to the program. 4 years later, on April 5, 2022, the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency honored the request by releasing more than 1,574 pages of material to The Sun. According to The Sun, The cache of documents include reports of the biological effects of UFO sightings on humans, studies on advanced technologies such as invisibility cloaks, and plans for deep space exploration and colonization. Some portions of the documents were withheld in part for privacy and confidentiality concerns, the ATIP told The Sun. One standout document from the collection of the report, titled Anomalous Acute and Subacute Field Effects on Human and Biological Tissues, dated back to 2010. The report describes alleged injuries on human observers by anomalous advanced aerospace systems, some of which may be a threat to United States interests, according to the document. The report describes 42 cases from medical files and 300 unpublished cases where humans sustained injuries after alleged encounters with anomalous vehicles, which includes UFOs. In some cases, humans showed sunburns, injuries, or other conditions related to electromagnetic radiation. The report said some of them appearing to have been inflicted by energy-related propulsion systems. The report also noted a case of brain damage, nerve damage, heart palpitations, and headaches related to anomalous vehicle encounters. It is unclear what kind of vetting process, if any, the ATIP used to investigate these alleged cases. The Sun has yet to share the full contents of the requested reports. The report also includes a list of alleged biological effects of UFO sightings on human observers between 1873 and 1994, compiled by the Mutual UFO Network, a civilian nonprofit group of studies reported UFO sightings. The reported effects of UFO encounters include unaccounted for pregnancy, apparent abduction, paralysis, and experiences of perceived telepathy, teleportation, and levitation. The report concludes that there is sufficient evidence to support a hypothesis that some advanced systems are already deployed and opaque to full U.S. understandings. For more details, check out the Sun's initial report and other FOIA requests. I'll leave you guys a link to this article. I don't believe that these are actual beings. I think that these are really demons and bad stuff out there, and I wouldn't mess with it if I were you, but I'll leave you guys a link to the article just the same. Alright, next we have slow slip event on Cascadia subduction zone. Vancouver Island hit by more than 4,200 quakes since March 20th. So a lot of earthquakes in the Cascadian zone in Vancouver. Alright, next, huge hail destroyed hundreds of cars in Florida. I'll leave you guys the link to Strange Sounds so you guys can check out these stories. Also, record-setting Arctic blast hits Europe, stunning spring crops. Alright. As well as they were quick to warn us from the winter of death, but they are not talking about the coming summer of food riots. Apparently they're talking about food shortages. As well as deluge of water drowns and buries 16 people in Brazil. I'll leave you guys the link to this page so you guys can check out all these stories. As well as tsunami-like waves hit beach parks along New South Wales coast, Australia. That was on April 4th. A giant landslide in Iran, as well as U.S. bird flu outbreak. Minnesota bans poultry sales exhibitions for 31 days due to H5N1. So a lot of birds have been being culled and killed, and that's gonna create more of a shortage of food if there's not a lot of shortage already. Also, tuna stocks are being overfished on April 4th, so I'll leave you guys a link so you guys can check out all of these stories. Alright, next, Zero Hedge. We have Lauria, questions abound about Bucha massacre. The Bucha incident is a critical moment in the war. Please pray for all these people who passed away and their families in the Bucha massacre having to do with Ukraine. That's the country. Please pray for them. A lot of people have passed away because of the war happening there. Alright. What's behind the renewed drone attacks on the UAE? The UAE's continued intervention in Yemen risks provoking Houthi rebels into adopting military tactics that target civilians. So a lot of drones happening. It says the mere risk of such an attack would negatively affect the UAE's perception of security. That's interesting. Alright. Also, President Xi in China faces an impossible dilemma in Shanghai as COVID outbreak worsens despite lockdown. So if we all stop in containment measures now, it means all the previous efforts were for nothing. That's what they're saying. It's quite spooky to be hearing all this stuff coming out of China. Please pray for the people of China. Alright, the liberals terrified as Musk's big stake in Twitter is not at all funny. There is no need to wonder what the US liberal left thinks about free speech. So apparently Musk bought a large stake in Twitter, and he's supposedly going to be joining the committee of Twitter. So that's going to be interesting to see. Alright, let's see if there's anything else. Let's see. Numerous health problems, more likely due to COVID-19 vaccines than coincidence, VAERS data analysis says. Alright. The Fed starts a digital currency. It had better guarantee privacy. A reasonable person might worry about the government is paying lip service to privacy concerns. That's quite spooky. That just reminds me of the Mark of the Beast. The currency, if they start a currency and they force it on people, it's going to be quite spooky. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like, subscribe for more news. I haven't been covering too much on the tornado outbreak because I've been retweeting everything on Twitter. So if you follow my Twitter page, I'll leave a link to my Twitter page. You can see all the posts about the tornadoes and all the storms that have been happening. Alright guys, hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless you guys.